Hey everybody, welcome to the Atlanta Dreamin' Pod. Again, this is Ian at P Hoops, Josh, and we're joined as always by AmbeeWrites. And the WNBA draft took place yesterday.
It did.
And most of the reviews had Atlanta doing rightfully really well, but one article got me heated. Were you able to get on
no.
ESPN before this, Amber?
No, I was not. Spill the tea. Spill the tea. We must know.
So the first sentence was, the Atlanta Dream did okay.
Hmm.
The Atlanta Dream did okay.
I beg your pardon.
We got Haley Jones, Letitia Amihere, Leah Brown, and we did okay.
Okay. Listen.
So, just makes me more hungry when the season begins. Like, man.
That made me feel a little, it made me feel away a little bit because I'm like, what could they have done better than what they did? Like,
exactly.
You got somebody that was undervalued in the draft anyway, because prior to the college season, Haley was number 2 on
It's
most
true.
draft boards.
She was.
She dropped all the way to 6. You got a lottery caliber talent. 6.
And most drafts had Amihere at 5, like in the top 5 because of her athleticism. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So what else were they supposed to do?
And I don't know. Like they mentioned 3-point shooting, but Ryan and Alicia are going to be on the court at all times. One of those two are going to be on the court. So I don't know. Like one of my concerns, and we talked about this going into the draft, was we didn't want a situation like last year, like if Wheeler or Aerie gets hurt, it's all on one point guard, and then like having to mix in people who don't have a lot of experience. That's not going to happen this season. Both Haley and Leah, spoiler alert, I think she's going to make the roster. I'll go over how that will work later. But I think all 3 make it, and we have 2 players that we brought on that can play 1 through 3. Flat out. I know there's concerns about Haley's shot. And if we're going back to 3-point shooting, Leah struggled with 3-point shooting this season, but in all other seasons, she shot 32% or better. So I think we killed this draft.
I mean,
I'm not going to lie. I did have to edit out my footage for the 8th pick right before because I was chanting for Horston to come to us.
Yeah,
but I am extremely happy Amihere got to us, though. Like, she is so talented. Like, just the ceiling is through the roof. Like, I'm ready. Like, man. Do you see any major holes on our roster right now? Like, after the draft, like, what's your main concern? Yeah. Or do you feel like we met them?
See, personally, for me, I feel like we met the most pressing need, which is getting winged up and getting somebody who can facilitate.
Exactly.
Because LA, she can facilitate, and also Haley can facilitate. I'm not as acquainted with Leah Brown. I haven't seen much of her, but from what I heard, I mean, she gonna fill the holes that we need too. So it's like, I think people are married to the fact that we don't have a true 5.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really all it is. Because, like, I mean, yeah, it's not ideal to have Cheyenne to have to, be the 5. But when she's played the 5, she has done her job. What else do y'all want? Like, if you can't get anybody to fill that hole, and you have somebody that's serviceable enough to fill that hole, and we have somebody to play the 4, then what's the point in trying to, especially in the draft where there were not any 5s that really jumped out, except of course Leah Boston, but we're not getting Leah Boston.
Yeah, we weren't getting her.
If you're not getting her, then you go fill up whatever else you need to fill up.
It's true.
And wing depth was a huge point of emphasis. So you got like 2 Swiss Army knives and you got a shooter. So what else do you want?
Yep.
I don't understand that.
It's true. Yep.
That's just me.
Yeah, and what's up, Patrick and Lakin? I agree. We have Rupert too, which later on I am gonna post some clips like while we're in here live so you can see it. It's on my Twitter channel and I'll retweet those from not this past game, which by the way, Cheyenne and Rupert's team moved to the second round in the Italian playoff day.
Awesome.
Hoping for a championship between Ryan and Cheyenne's team. They both finished 1-2.
Oh, man, that would be fire.
That would be a fun best of 5 series. That would be so fun.
Would be.
So
that would be great.
I'm ready for it. So first they both have to make it through the semifinals, but I think they will. That would be a lot of fun. But me personally, I agree with you. I don't think there's any huge holes on the lineup right now. Like, I don't know. I see it coming together. I still don't know who's going to start at the 1. That's going to be intense, but 2-3 is pretty solidified. Can Naz rise up and get the 4 position? That's a question mark, but we have Monique there. We have Nia Coffey there. Man, like, it's just so fun to meet, like, our positions. Like, we got people that are just so versatile. Like, Leah Brown could do 1 through 3. Haley Jones can do 1 through 3, and then Amie here, I think, could solidly do the 3 or 4. Like that's really good for the future when you can plug in and just try to find who's going to have the best chemistry. Like, I'm ready for that. I think all 4 players are going to get playing time this season. Obviously, it's going to differ on how much, but I see them making some sort of impact. And I talked about this during our draft stream. Leah reminds me a lot of Naz Hillman, like obviously completely different positions. But if you look at her stats, like just how many ways she contributes, like scoring points, assisting, rebounds, like she's a player that put up first round type numbers and she was in the Big Ten. So I don't know. I'm just really bullish that we are going to surprise some folks. Anybody that's underestimating us, looking at you, ESPN, we're coming. We're coming. We're not just going to have an okay season like you said our draft is. We're coming. We're coming.
Yeah, a lot of people are afraid of this. And they should be. I can't remember which one of my Dream fam hit me up and was like, "Hey, I'm kind of scared of what's gonna happen. As a fan, I'm scared of what's gonna happen." And took the words right out of my mouth because, like, honestly, the potential on paper and what we already know to be like as the team, and then just adding those pieces are like, do y'all not understand?
Lakin, I love the energy. I don't know if I'm quite there yet. Maybe I have to see a game first. Probably by preseason, I'll be on board with you.
Listen, exactly. Like, it might not happen this season, but please believe 2024, 2025.
That I won't be. But let me add a qualifier there. I would not be too surprised. I wouldn't be like, whoa, what a huge upset. I feel like it's probably not going to happen, but it's not out of the realm of possibility either to me. Yeah, so like, just the 3 core of Alicia, Ryan, and Cheyenne, just those alone, like that's just a great core. And then we just have a lot of intriguing pieces, like a lot. Like I am so ready. And I don't feel like oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just thinking, like, if you look at like the players that we were able to bring in, 2 out of the 3 have a championship pedigree. Like,
it's true.
I mean, both, like, Haley and Letitia have both won national championships. So
that's another thing I was going to bring up. Like, it's just wild. Like, you can just tell they did scouting to like the fullest degree on like what players would fit in the best and everything, like how the lineup's going to gel with these rookies. Like, I didn't know like Haley and Ryan were close, but apparently like Ryan was texting Haley that's going to be okay, like when she wasn't taken like in the top 3 and everything, like I saw in the Athletic article. Like they played a lot on Team USA. Like, obviously Leia played with Naz, so there's that connection right there. Me here, like they would have seen them a lot on like the under 18 tournaments as well when US was playing Canada. And she showed like she belonged. Like Canada didn't perform great, but I felt like she stood out every time. And
she played extremely well.
And a lot of people brought this up. It's actually might end up benefiting Amie here, and she might fit in more and get used to the rhythm more than other players who like. Because one concern I have for like draft picks coming in is their playing time a lot of times decreases a lot. Unless like you're a lottery pick or a few exceptions, you're not going to get a lot of playing time. And like Amie here, like she had times at South Carolina where she was not featured.
Exactly.
Like, and still just made a huge impact, especially on the defensive end to me. Like, I don't know. I feel like she's going to be ready to go, and she's going to be the perfect plug-in and play player. Like, I'm really excited.
Exactly.
Will Haley challenge for starting point guard is a great question.
I know. I saw that. I feel like, hey, anything is fair game. We should see.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so personally, and it sucks again that we do not get to see preseason games to expand on this. But could she challenge during the season? Absolutely. And again, I'm not buying that she doesn't have a jump shot. I talked about it before the draft and a little on our stream. Like, I just don't think it's something that they focused on for like at Stanford. And I don't know.
Because they had a whole lot of shooters around her, so she didn't necessarily
and just
have
how
to
they played. They wanted her to excel in that mid-range game in the paint and like playing defensively and being a playmaker. Like, I don't know. Like, Wright was already working on Nas being more of a shooter. I could see it changing. So I'm ready.
Exactly. Me too.
So one thing I want to do really quick is just like a power rankings, give like a brief summary of why you're putting this team in this position after the draft, how we're feeling. So I'll let you start. Number one.
My number one team it's gonna be Vegas. Like Vegas is gonna be the number one.
Yeah.
Like they just have too many pieces. They already come off a championship, and they've been able to retain most of that championship team. And then they added Alicia Clark and the GOAT Candace Parker. Yeah, number one.
Okay.
Easy.
Yep. Me too. I have mine in 3 different tiers. So the aces and the next team, unfortunately, I'm going to bring up are in that same thing. You're right. Just everything is coming back for them. Like, and they clicked so well. And now, because I can understand why they were a little hesitant to use their bench last season. I can, because there was a drop off.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's going to be the same case this season. So
I
feel like they're going to be a scarier team, and it'll be a bigger upset when the Dream knocked them out. Like, it just... See, I'm already doing it. But anyway.
Here you come with it.
But, yeah, they look scary good. Man, like, they're going to be beating teams by, like, 20, 30 points sometimes, and it's going to get ugly especially if they get on. Like, they just have shooters, like, even Raquana Williams... Like, she knocked out 4 3-pointers in the deciding championship game. Like,
that's
how do you stop?
That's the one piece. Like, you can't stop her because, as y'all know, I'm a LA fan as well. When she played for LA, like that is literally all she was there for. Perfected that role. So, like. It doesn't matter what you do. When she's on, she's on. You can't stop it.
It's true. It's true. And and what's scary is they have a lot of people like that can just go off. Obviously, Chelsea Gray.
Chelsea
Plum too.
Yes.
Jackie Young. And then if you decide if for some reason your strategy is like, okay, we're going to stop their perimeter game, you got Asia Wilson and Candace Parker.
The Asia Wilson and the Candace Parker.
Yeah, like
what the hell are you gonna do?
It would be a monumental upset. First of all, if they lose a game when they lose a game in regulation, I don't care if it's the Liberty too. It will be an upset if they fall. Like, sheesh.
Like,
man,
it's insane. It's insane.
Number 2, we're gonna move on to them. Now, these are power rankings. They are not win-losses. I might have a different opinion there because I have had opinions, but I'm going to stick to just what's on the roster right now. I'm not going to go over like chemistry and will they click, but the New York Liberty are number 2, obviously, with the star power that they have. They got John Quell, they got Breanna Stewart, they got Benijah Laney, like they got Courtney Vandersloot. I could go on and on. This is a better team than last season for sure, obviously. Like the team that barely made the playoffs, like they tried to assemble a super team that could compete with Vegas. Is it going to work? Are they going to be able to gel together? That's what we're going to find out, but they are the clear number 2 talent-wise. Would you agree, or did you have someone else at 2?
I do agree because, like, on paper, they have just, like, tip-top talent. They have so many MVPs, former MVPs on their roster, like, perennial MVP candidates and all-stars. Like, we'll see how it shakes out, but for right now, on paper, it's looking like they clear number 2.
Before we move on, just want to say again, they are enemy number 1.
Yes, they are.
For reasons that I brought up, and I will bring them up over and over. I'm sure Amber will too, but they are enemy number 1. So
absolutely,
we're ready. We're ready.
We're right here. Yep.
So 3 through 6 for me are extremely close. If you changed the order at all, I would be mad. Like I feel like 3 through 6 are interchangeable for me right now. But who do you have at 3 in your opinion?
At 3, you know what? Go ahead and throw the Dream in number 3 for me.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm feeling that confident in the Dream.
Dang.
Because
you went higher than me.
Wow. But here I'm gonna explain a little bit why I put them this high. Because one, they're due for the playoffs for one thing. They're due just to make the playoffs. But with the way the roster is being constructed, even if, they have to, it doesn't matter what type of hard cut they're going to have to make, everybody that is currently on the roster can shake out to be a home court advantage team.
It's true.
It can shake out, even with a tough schedule, you're still going to play the same teams. It does not matter. You're due for at least, I think they can get 2 wins off of everybody.
Dang. Okay. I love it.
Because they're scary.
And something else I didn't bring up from like going over like the chemistry and like doing research. These are not people that are just thankful to be coming into the WNBA. If you've seen these quotes from the people that we've acquired and the people we drafted, they want to win now. It's not like, hey, we're building something for the future. They want to win now. Like Amy here was talking about, like, I want to bring a winning culture here now. Haley was saying similar things too. Like, these are players that are accustomed to winning. Leah Brown, like, was a part of a Michigan team that never did what they did before in the past with Nas and everything, like just Sweet 16s, Elite 8. Like, these are winning players.
Exactly.
And they are not going to be okay with being anything less.
Exactly. So, you got too many players that's hungry. You look at the roster before you even get to the rookies. You look at all these, like, you got cast-offs from other teams that want to win. They have already bought in on the system. They bought in on the culture before they even set foot back on the floor.
It's true.
So that just, like, that gives me all the confidence in the world as a fan.
That's
because
true.
if you're already doing this, we haven't even gotten to training camp, and everybody's excited to get back, and that's a recipe for a winning team. So yeah, I'm ranking in number 3.
Okay,
I'm confident in that.
I like, again, I said 3 through 6 for interchangeable, and I love it. I love the 3 confidence.
Yep.
I put the Connecticut Sun. I love their front court still. The biggest key is Tiffany Hayes staying healthy. I love the lineup, like, because one of the things they were missing last season was like elite scoring, like someone they could depend upon to knock down jump shot or drive to the basket, like giving them that versatility.
Mm-hmm.
I think she could be that for them. If she gets injured, I think, they're just a middling playoff team after that.
Mm-hmm.
But the ceiling's high. I still love their front court. They still have Brianna Jones. They still have Alyssa Thomas, regardless of your thoughts on her. She's a really good player. And then they got Ono from the LA Sparks. Like, that's still a lethal 3-player rotation in that front court that a lot of teams would envy. So I feel like they have like decent guard depth too. Ty Harris, I think this is her first opportunity where she gets to have the job from the get-go. Dallas, she had to split a lot of times, and there were times when she went off, especially at the end of the season. So I feel like she could take the full reins. They got Heidemann coming back. Carrington had a really good end of the season too. Like, I can see the pieces coming together for the Sun squad and them being a really hard team to play against. So that's who I have at number 3. I'm curious to see where you have them at. Number 4, that's where I have Atlanta. Because I told you I want the dream coming for home court advantage. I think they really can.
Definitely.
And since you've said a lot of the things I've said already and everything we've talked about it at the beginning of the segment, like, we are just going to force Dream ownership and management to give us a bigger arena. Like, especially us getting home court advantage, they're going to see like how passionate the city is for this team.
Because they already are.
They're going to get more and more people buying into it. Like,
exactly.
And we're trying to like attract a lot of fan bases, like Canadians. We got Amie here. She's going to be a Canadian legend eventually. South Carolina fans, we got Alicia Gray. We got Amie here again, double dipping. Michigan fans, like, come on. We got your last 2 drafted players from your most successful tourney runs and players that played a huge part in that, Naz Hillman and Leah Brown. Like, we should become a favorite team, and then if we're not, you hate us. I'm telling you, I want people to hate us after this season for what we do to teams. Like, I do not want to be the lovable team again. So... And I lost Amber for a second, but that's okay. But yeah, like, I don't think not making the playoffs is the floor. Like, I think we're absolutely going to make the roster and make the playoffs. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Did you accidentally hit the phone when you were doing the poke?
Yep, I did.
That's what it looked like.
I was like, damn it.
That's too funny.
Oh no.
But who's your 4th team?
Okay, so number 4. All right, this is kind of hard, but
by the way, I'll be posting these later so you can keep us accountable and everything. But
yeah, keep us accountable because we want to be accountable. But so it's gonna be a toss up with me between my 4 and my 5, but I'm gonna give my 4 to Washington.
Okay.
Yeah, number 4 is definitely Washington for me.
Explain why. Besides Tosh.
See, he had to go there. How did I know he was going to go there? I was just waiting for the shoe to drop, and he dropped. But anyway, so we're not going to talk about that lady. We're going to talk about the rest of the team.
Okay.
And where I see them. Like, I feel like they might. The reason I put them there is because they're very consistent.
They are.
Like, from year to year, they're very, very consistent. And I feel like that range is, like, no matter where, like, what other teams do, they always seem to be able to get in that, like, that home court range. Like, maybe they will, maybe they won't. Like, they're always right there. And I feel that it's still a comfortable spot for them. Like, defensively, they'll be fine. Like, the scoring is a little concerning, but I still see them being able to do enough to get that home court advantage.
Okay.
So
yeah, I can see that, and they're definitely in my core 6. And I actually have them at number 5 as well when I'm looking at mine. So like, I wanted to put them higher, but I don't feel like they address their offensive issues. Like, I still think they have them.
They do have little cracks. Yeah.
they didn't get like that elite score to me. Like maybe their second round picks, Saniki, like can, and sorry, I probably pronounced that wrong, but the player that got out of South Florida, like maybe, but I'm still not feeling it. Like I'm still not feeling like they got what they needed. Their defense is going to win them a lot of games though. But yeah, there's just too much there. I love Shakira Austin's game, and she's been killing it overseas already. Like especially the second half of the season, she was already looking like all-star potential, and she's going to raise her game. I still like the Slim signing. I think Tasha's a great playmaker. Kristen Williams could potentially be a part of it. Like I like their training camp roster too. Avina Westbrook, Amanda Zowie B. Not as big of a fan of Tolliver. I personally think her W career should be done, but maybe she's got something else in the tank too, and she makes that roster and adds something to it. But like Maisha Hines-Allen, like they have like people at each position. It's just, is it going to click? Are they going to get enough scoring when they need it? Because they're like all those players can score, but like just they don't have. And I'm sorry, I don't want to offend Tosh in saying this, but they don't have like a shooter like that they can go to. I don't feel like they have that right now. I think Avina Westbrook could potentially be that. I see it like in their training camp, but but again, I don't see them not being like competing for home court advantage. I don't see the season cratering. Like their ceiling, like their floor's not that low, but I can't go too high on them either. So
I feel that
they're going to be a really good team. They're going to be fun, and I think they're decent for the future too. Like EDD's probably off the books, and Cloud will probably be off the books next season. Maybe Atkins, but like they'll have a lot of cap space to do what they want to do. And they still like have some foundational pieces. Like I really like Slim. Shakira Austin is turning into something amazing. Really quick before we move on, what did you think of them basically just punting on their draft? Like they had the 4th overall pick, they picked somebody, and then they traded them to Dallas, who always needs centers. But what did you think of?
Especially a draft stash. Listen, when it comes down to it, I just think that T-Bolt just does not want to deal with rookies. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he just doesn't want to integrate them into that offense or what. Like, I have no idea. Like, the fact that we should have known he wasn't to be trusted when he traded the number 1 pick to us.
It's true. It's true.
Like,
as good as Shakira is going to be for that community and stuff and everything, I get it.
And that was a great pick because I was committed to having her before we actually was able to get the pick. But it's like, yo, like Ryan could have solved a lot of their problems. They might have a ring to show for it. But now we'll never know.
We'll never know. But man, I would not have been surprised. It was literally what they were missing. Literally. Especially with how Ryan was playing towards the end of the season, like where she was developing like different parts of her game. Because she started just being a jump shooter. And then, like, got to the line a lot. Like, her passing game was going up. Like, yeah.
Like, the first week, she was getting triple teamed because she was player of the week the first week in the league.
She really was.
And then on top of that as well, like, another thing about Washington before we hop off of it is because I really want them to like find they should have been able to bring somebody in to help EDD with the scoring because EDD has been like she's 32 going on 33 because I know she's around my age.
Yep,
and I'm like exactly, and she has like a bad back. She's been dealing with all types of issues for the past 3-4 years. You can't ride her for much longer.
No.
So
and that's why I have my concerns. But she's amazing when she was in. But
when she's on. But like they're just middle of the road when she's not playing. Like they've been able to win games, but
and I don't see that changing. Like, and especially this is a 40-game schedule. She's going to need to take her breaks probably.
Yeah,
she might only play 25. She's just not going to be involved as much. Like,
she might
I don't feel like they took care of that.
They did, but we'll move on because like
okay, really quick before moving on, because our friend Mystics fan Lakin says that they may be stashing the picks and then trying to get someone, like they have a strategy. I don't think it's likely for the draft that they have a strategy. I haven't seen it from the Mystics since I've been following the W, but maybe, just maybe, T-Bolt's like, I'm going to use the 2025 pick and my 2024 pick to trade up, and then we get someone really good like Cameron Brink or something like that.
Man, that would be nice.
But
that would be nice.
This season, it's
yeah.
I'm not feeling like they did the pieces for it to all come together. We'll
nope.
6, I think we're going to be on the exact same page on 2. We've been close to the top.
Yeah, I didn't do my number 5. I'm sorry.
What?
Did you do your 5? Did you do your 5?
Yeah, we both did it. Washington Mystics for a 5 for us.
Remember, Washington was my 4. I'm on 5.
Oh, but then I did the Dream. I moved on. See, I did the Dream at 4.
Yeah, and we will flip flop.
And then we just messed up. Okay. I took
I'm gonna do my 5.
So, okay,
I have to talk about my 5 because my 5 is my Sparks.
Okay.
So
I was about to say I was surprised that you didn't have them higher to me. This makes sense now.
Yeah, okay. This is why. Because I feel like the Sparks, they addressed a couple of needs. Well, in free agency, they really tried to address the needs that they had, but because those they're not gonna be able to play this season. Katie Lou's out with her pregnancy, and then Stephanie Talbot is gonna be out for the season with ACL. And that 3 spot is just a little too shaky for me. But we were able to pull in Zaya Cook, which is some nice scoring there, some nice defense. I'm happy about that. And, all the other pieces they've been able to pull together, like pulling in Z in free agency was a win.
Yeah.
100%. Like, it's going to be scary hours
Z
in LA.
and NECA, wow.
Oh my God.
And another thing, like LA is clearly in my top 6. Like in that core, really, I'm starting to buy into your vision because like Hamby is going to put it in my terms. She is going to be playing cussing mad. Like
yes,
she is like going to be on a mission. Like, and before her pregnancy, like she was playing at a really high level. Like she was a double machine. Like just NECA, Azare, and Hamby. Like I'm starting to buy in. Like they could have a bigger lineup and it could work.
They can run it a little bit. They can run it just a little bit just to test the waters because you know how Kurt loves to run those big lineups, especially coming from
might actually work like it could fully for Connecticut. And then Shanae in that too.
Exactly.
And then the guard group wouldn't be terrible. You still have Jasmine Thomas. I think Jordan Kanda obviously makes the roster. Lexi, Zaya, even Clarity. Like I personally like one thing I liked about the Aces. I told you I didn't like their bench usage, but one thing that was incredible is just having 2 point guards, and we saw it in AU too with like Odyssey and Jordan having that chemistry. I could see that for LA, like at different points, going for 2 ball handlers being in at the same time, and they beat those bigs or can slash. Like again, Canada needs the slasher pass. No more 3-point shooting.
No 3-point shooting. But like I
feel them.
See something. Yeah, I see something brewing. They might not crack that top 4, but I do feel like they have a firm spot in the playoffs. But yeah, it's just they could push up and snag one of those spots, but it's the first year. We're gonna have to work out some kinks, but I feel like they're gonna do pretty well though.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And again, like before we move on to the next tier, like mine, they are all bunched together, like 7 through 12. I could see an argument for any of them. This is reversible and everything, but like I just want to say we didn't blow the draft. Like we can trust in Dan. He's done 2 straight drafts where he's just done incredible.
Over, we trust.
Like people kept saying that we were going to draft certain players that did not meet positional needs and stuff, and then we went out and did the thing. And like I don't see any glaring holes. I cannot wait for this season.
There are no holes.
We are not. We are clearly,
no
in my opinion,
holes.
Part of this bottom group that I'm going to be going over and everything. I think we are with that 3 to 6 group where we're competing for home advantage, which is awesome to feel.
6?
Huh?
Who's your 6?
The 6 were the LA Sparks for me.
Okay.
So I had the 3 Connecticut Sun, 4 Atlanta Dream, 5 Washington Mystics, and 6 LA Sparks.
Okay.
But again, like I could hear arguments for all those, except the Dream being at 6. I won't accept that. So
yeah, but I guess for my number 6, I would have put Connecticut because
I keep skipping and oh my gosh. Okay.
I know that's why I'm keeping track.
At
that's
6.
why I got you.
Why do you have them below the other teams? Like, what's holding you back? Because we had those in reverse order.
Yeah, we did.
Why are you down on
I didn't notice that, but yeah, we did have them in reverse order. I'll put it like this. Because I'm never sold. Right hand to the man, I'm never sold completely on Connecticut. I don't know what it is. I'm never completely sold. But
despite how many times they've beaten us?
Yeah, despite how many times they've beaten us. And the thing about it is that the major piece that was the one that was holding together, that was slapping us all around, is Mr. Kurt Miller. And Mr. Kurt Miller is now the head coach of LA. So I know Stephanie White is a good coach. She's proven herself to be a good coach. Is she a great coach? I won't say that. We'll find out. I mean, she's coaching the W before, but I mean, I feel like they'll definitely make the playoffs because they have a good roster. But I'm just not sold on that lineup being elite.
So, which part concerns you more? Like, do you think their front court is still good? With like, do you agree with me?
The
like,
front
Alyssa
court is solid.
Okay, so you have more questions on the back, even with Tip in there.
Yeah, because like you said, you think it's gonna hinge on Tiffany Hayes. It is gonna hinge on Tiffany Hayes, and I don't think that she's gonna hold up a whole season. The last time, I can't remember the last time she has.
Which sucks, but yeah.
Exactly. Because she's a girl of a certain age as well. And to rely on that to be your backup, your backcourt scoring.
Yeah.
I wouldn't invest
I can see
too much
where you're coming
it.
from. But do you think they're clearly, could they fall below 6th in your opinion, or are they clearly a part of that group? Or are they in another tier for you where they're not part of the Washington, Atlanta, LA group?
I feel like the whole, I feel like they're firmly in there because the last two people, the last two teams that I have, I just feel like they just a cut above it.
Okay, but not much. I have them clearly ahead. I think 3 through 6 are clearly ahead of the bunch. Like they'll be like at least like 4 or 5 games ahead, and then 7 through 12 will just be an intense fight for who's going to get blown out by the 1 and 2 teams. So, who's number 7 for you? Since I keep cutting you off, this is the best way to go. Is just you going first. So on to 7.
Let's see. On to 7. Well,
I have a surprise at 7.
I wonder who yours is going to be. But here's the thing. My last 2, they could be interchangeable, I feel, for me.
Okay.
I'm going to say Phoenix.
Phoenix, okay.
Because I'm not sold on them. I mean, I've seen a little bit of what BG's been working on because, we had those little clips. She's looking good.
Oh, I don't doubt BG. I do not.
Yeah, BG, I mean, it might have been a while since she played, but since she was putting the ball in the hole before she got, for that unfortunate incident. But yeah, I mean, I'm sold on her, but they're still relying on a 1-year-old. They're relying on a 40-year-old for a lot of their scoring, and that's just not a strong plan. It's not a strong sound plan.
So besides
we don't
BG,
know when she's coming back.
Like, what has you confident in Phoenix over the other teams right now where they're in the playoffs? So besides BG, like, what's having you confident in that
am I
Mercury
confident
lineup?
about? Them getting
Because I heard
Mojo.
a whole a bunch of negatives. I'm just like, so
I mean, there
what's
is
putting them
so
ahead?
many negatives. Like, there are glaring negatives. But I mean, that other lady that shares the same birthday as me.
Oh yeah. If you know, you
She
know.
if you know, you know. I won't say her name on here, but I feel like even though I really don't like this lady, I still think that she plays well enough to where there could be, you know, like on both sides of the ball as well. Like, she's not bad. I can't say she's a bad player.
Mm-hmm.
Brianna Turner, she can give you great defense. She can rebound. I like Mojo. The addition of Mojo is,
Yeah.
I can't say
I love
enough.
her getting her
I
playing into a
love
guaranteed
that.
contract. Love that.
Yes, I love that for her. So that was a great pickup. And you know, if SDS, you know, plays with them, great. If she doesn't, I still think they have just enough to push it into the playoffs.
If SDS plays, I will completely change where I have them right now. But
I feel
that is a
I feel
huge
that.
factor because we talked about this. She had a
Mm-hmm.
career season of a lot of stats, especially offensively.
Exactly.
Like, that's scary.
She's only getting
like,
stronger.
which is
Because
wild.
some
Like,
players get
yeah.
stronger as they age. Some players do. They get stronger as they age, and then, you know, it's not a real drop off. And she's one of those players. So if they can get her back this season, that would be great. Because, like, you think about it, the last time they all played together, which was 21, they went to the finals as a 6 seed. They're always able to sneak it in somehow. So I feel like they'll find a way.
If they have SDS, like, complete game changer,
If
I
they
agree.
have her, yeah, definitely.
Number 7 for me. I don't know if this fan base will like it because they may want to be a lottery team. But the teams that did well in the draft to me, the Indiana Fever, the Atlanta Dream, and then the clear number 3 for me is the Seattle Storm. They picked up Jordan Horst at number 9. That was supposed to be a lottery pick. They picked up Maddie Williams. And then they also just did a lot of, like, under the radar moves during the offseason. And we got to watch them at AU. I really like Jasmine Walker, how she looks. She looks completely healthy and maybe a little better than she ever has. Plaisance is a really good veteran move right there. Like, Jewel Lloyd gets to finally run the show. Point guard, maybe like Jade Melbourne, maybe someone that gets dropped from another team, like LA. Like, if Clarendon gets dropped, like, something there. But, like, I like their front court still, too. Like, the basis of it with, like, Ezzy and Mercedes Russell. Like, I honestly like this team a whole lot. And there's some people that, like, this would be a team that I would really like if they were able to keep all their players, because I've honestly liked all the things they look like. Garantes, I think she had like really good World Cup and then had some really good spurts overseas. I've really liked their moves, and I would not be surprised. Again, like, there's a clear separation between 3 and 6 and 7, but I think they are at the top of the bottom 5 teams. I like what they're doing. I love Coach Noel. Like,
I
can
see the vision. Yeah, I wouldn't have put them there, but you know what? That's a nice spiel, though. I'll give you that. If it works together, like, because they have so many new pieces, but they have enough solid pieces to make it work, though. I'll give you that.
But it could also crater when you have so many unproven players. I love those players getting opportunities, but it could also crash and burn. So I understand why you didn't put them there either. But yeah. Who's number 8 for you?
Number 8.
Who gets that final playoff spot?
Man, I've been going back and forth about this because I got 2 teams in mind, but I feel like this team is probably going to win it out, and it's a mess of a roster, but they always seem to sneak in there somehow.
Are you going to say the Lynx?
No.
Okay.
Now, why would you think that?
I don't know.
Well,
I was just worried.
I said it was
You
a
had me at
mess.
mess of a roster, yeah.
I did. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to
It's okay.
mislead you, but
Not that big of a mess of a roster, but still a mess of a roster.
but
Okay, who you got?
it's still a mess. I have Dallas sneaking in there
Dallas.
by a
Okay.
hair. Dallas by a hair. Very like the slimmest of margins. Only because I do not believe that a team that has Diamond the Shields and Enrique, even though you know how Enrique get, but I still feel like that's enough to kind of propel them into the playoffs.
Okay.
They find a way to get it done, even though they lost Mabry, point guard situation, all this stuff. Yeah. And they got Natasha Howard. They got Tierra McCowan. That's a lot of size. Even though they're not, I believe in Coach Trammell. I really do. She's a LA. She was with LA for a while. She's a players coach, and I believe she can get them to buy in.
Okay.
So whatever vision that she has for the team. So with the coaching aspect of it, I feel like with the pieces that they do have, I feel like they could kind of, sneak in there. They could skate by.
Okay.
Not completely so, because I feel like my number 9 team could probably swap places, but
Okay.
we'll get to that in a minute.
I am sticking with my gut feeling. I have been calling this team a playoff team as long as they drafted a certain player. I felt like there are players that took jumps and everything enough that this team will be a playoff team, and I'm sticking by it. The Indiana Fever and the Atlanta Dream are ending the longest playoff droughts in the WNBA this season.
Woo!
The Dream are obviously going to have a more monumental season and everything and make a lot of noise, but the Fever are not going to suck. And there's just too much. There's just too much talent for it not to work. I like their draft overall too. I could see how it goes off, but Melissa and Melissa and Boston just seem really, really good. And they have a lot of talent. I don't know who's going to be on the roster. I will say I don't like the guaranteed contracts that they've done. I've talked about that a lot, but they just have so much talent. I love Emily Inksler, from last year. Lexi Hall looked like she's going to make a big jump from what we saw at AU. The point guard room looks really interesting. Erica Wheeler, I still think she's got some game. Robbins, Mitchell is going to be extremely good. Grace Berger, I thought was still a decent pick. She's a great distributor, can knock down her mid-range shots. She knows her game. Again, I don't know how this full roster is going to shape out, but I really like it. And I didn't even bring up Queen Egbo. I didn't bring up Maya Caldwell that they got. If they can figure out the right roster, which is going to be really hard, they're going to be one of the most chaotic training camps with the amount of talent they have there. And again, I am begging the WNBA and Kathy to understand that having an extended practice roster where you get 2 to 3 players to add there would help so much with hardship contracts, development, keeping fan engagement from college, because seeing all sorts of fans' favorites go away year in and year out is preventing this game from growing to the capability it could and keeping our players domestically here and stuff. So anyway, that's a full-on topic for another time, but the Fever just bring it on forefront with just how much young talent they have there, and they're going to have to make some tough decisions. So, but I think they're a... And I would be so sad if either of those players, especially Inksler, I hate her when we're playing against her because she is just smug. She's in your face. The way, she's the type of player you would love if she was on your team, but man, if she is let go, someone else will pick her up quickly. But yeah. Someone like that, though, is going to fall. There's no way around it unless they make a trade. Yeah. They're going to lose someone really, potentially really good for nothing. But I think they're a playoff team just with what they have. Number 9, who do you have?
See,
other team?
I had Indiana going.
Okay, all right.
I feel like The only reason they might not make that cutoff is just because they're so young.
Okay.
I think that's the only reason. Like the youth, it catches up to you after a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't think they have the. I mean, yes, Erica Willard is a vet, but it's been. I'm trying to think of like when the last time she's been in the playoffs. So
I looked it
it's
up last
not
season.
saying
It's been a bit, unfortunately.
exactly. So like, I'm not saying that she's complacent at all, but I'm just
no.
saying
Yeah.
like,
I still get what you're saying.
From a vet's perspective, it's just like her perspective might not be as as astute when it comes down to like just making them dig a little deeper. I'm not sure she's the right one to make it like a you know what I'm trying to say.
I do.
Yeah. So it's like I think that's the one little edge, that one little piece that needs to fall for them to actually make it. But I do see that they have a wealth of talent. Like they have so much talent. It's taking so long for them to get this much talent. Like it's taking a while, but they have collected it like infinity stones. They have made it. They have their centerpiece now. And like between having Melissa, having Aaliyah at the 4 and the 5, my God, it's going to be. Oh, I can't wait to see it. And like with all those young pieces, they're bound to have their little pitfalls, what have you. But I still feel like they'll probably be right there. They could sneak in. I would be surprised to see them sneak in, but yeah.
And what helps, their coach was with the Atlanta Dream last season, and that they got to see what good culture looked like, and
exactly.
But I will say, like, I loved our team last season, like how we were building, but I think the Fever are a better position this year than the Dream were last season. They just they're not going to have like so much dependent on like one player. Like it's a bunch of young players, but I feel like the weight is going to be able to be distributed, and that's why I just think they're going to be able to go over the hump. It's not going to be like Ryan, where so much was dependent on her early on. Like Alea gets someone who played last season in Nalissa and knows about those expectations, and having to like Nalissa will have to take on more on her shoulders last season than Alea will this year. Like I don't know, that I see it working together. Again, I do not see this team winning a playoff game, but I think they make the playoffs, and then after this season, it could potentially go to an even higher level depending on what development and what moves they make. But I love the direction the Fever are going. So number 9 for me, I am so sorry to everyone who likes watching the WNBA draft. I apologize that I'm predicting this, but I have the Wings getting 2 lottery picks again and not making the playoffs, so they will have their own pick and a team that I'm mentioning later. I just don't see it coming together. And comment in the chat, like, I'm struggling with like where the defense is going to be too. I'm struggling if McCowan and Howard are going to get in the way of each other. Like, I'm not buying the vision of this roster. I'm really not. I'm not seeing it coming together. Like, I don't know, but they have the talent, and it's similar to New York, like having the talent. I don't know if the pieces are going to go together, but it's at a lesser degree too. Like it's players that have played at that high level, but it doesn't happen consistently enough. And I think the players they lost, like,
it was a big chunk.
I don't know. It kind of relates to like the Fever, their position right now, like making the right decisions on who stays and who goes. And I feel like the Wings are not making the right decisions necessarily on what moves they make and everything. I did not like Izzy was underused big time. Alicia, like, she still put up great numbers, but man, like there were games where it felt like she was invisible in their game plan. Like, and they moved on. Like, so I don't necessarily like the trade-off from last year this year. Even Kayla Thornton, I liked her game and she's in New York. Like, I just don't see this improving from last season. They were a fringe playoff team, and this time the draft was not exactly inspiring either to me. So I
At
love
all.
Maddie. I think she is going to
Mhm.
turn into something. She's going to be able to develop her game. I don't know how much playing time she's going to get because you know how it is with wing rookies. But we have a new
Mhm.
coach and everything. But I'm wondering how
Mhm.
much of that is from above. Not going too far into that, but
Yeah,
I like
because
her
we
as a
could go there, but we're
prospect.
not.
But I don't
Mhm.
like their other picks for this season. And
Mhm.
yeah, Lou, I think, is a good scorer, but I just don't believe in much of her other game. Like
Mhm.
outside of that, if the shots aren't falling, I'm not inspired by this team, and they could completely prove me wrong. I could totally see them getting into that top 6, like being with those teams. This is like the one team
Mhm.
out of here that I could just see them completely proving me wrong. Actually, I'm lying. Like the
Mhm.
Mercury could do it too if they get SDS, but
Yeah.
this team, it like if they stay the same, I could see myself being wrong.
Mhm.
Totally. But just right now, before I've seen any game footage, before I've seen them together, I'm just not buying
Mhm.
it. So we'll see what happens.
I
But
feel that.
number 10 for you.
I'm gonna put Seattle right there. I'm gonna put
Okay.
Seattle as my team for all the same reasons because they have a wealth of talent. They could jump in there possibly, but I just don't know if they have enough to push them in there at the same time because you got a hodgepodge of players that
Yeah.
have not played together. There's not much chemistry that we're gonna have coming in, so it could go really well, and it could go because what I
Yeah.
said from like like when we first started, like it's gonna be really tight. It's gonna be really tight in there, so
Yeah.
it could shake out to where they just don't make it, but it could pop in there somehow. So I just I believe in the talent and I believe in their coach, but it's just I don't think it's gonna be enough to get them past some teams.
Yeah. No, I could
Yeah.
see that. And like I'm kind of getting vibes of last season for them, like last season
Yeah.
Dream, where
Mhm.
they're in a good position where there's not a lot of pressure on them, but people
Mhm.
know that they're making the right decision. This is not
Mhm.
like a team that completely cratered their ability to build for the future. And I'll go over that team in a
Mhm.
second. But like they've made some really good decisions. Again, they're going to have players that are going to be exciting as a fan to watch. Like even if this team doesn't
Mhm.
win a lot of games, they're going to be fun to watch. Like
Yeah, they're gonna be a lot of fun.
I don't know. Like I will go out of my way to watch some Storm games, even though they come on too late sometimes and everything with Central Time
Exactly.
Zone. I'll still make some time, like because they look fun. But yeah, I
Mhm.
see where you're coming from. It just may not
Mhm.
all mesh together, but I like their
Yeah.
overall plan, and it might work out better that they don't make the playoffs and they're just fun and everything, and then they get to draft someone really good. But I think the draft is so
Mhm.
deep next season they could make the playoffs and fans shouldn't be too mad. But
Mhm.
yeah, I could see either or. Definitely could see either or 10. My 10th, I have the
Mhm.
Phoenix Mercury. That's where I have them.
Okay.
Like, I just, there's just so much lacking. And like, I,
Mhm.
I just want to say, like, players can get, like, they deserve to get paid more money and everything. I'm not going to get too mad
Mhm.
at, like, DT getting the money, but I will say it prevented
That
them from being
handicapped them a
able to
lot.
go out and bolster their roster up more.
Mhm.
It was a huge cap hit that prevented them from making other moves potentially. Like I don't know if certain free agents would have come to them, but
Mhm.
like just what's there without SDS because I'm planning on her not playing. She did not seem like someone that wanted to play at the end of last season. She
I
might take
feel
that
that.
pregnancy leave and then leave. But
Mhm.
if she comes back, then I'm yeah. Next power rankings, completely different rating on the Mercury, but
Mhm.
I didn't really like the return that they got for Diamond. Like it just seemed like sort of
Yeah.
like a she doesn't fit with our team. We're just letting her go. And they
She's
got
the
Onion
reason that they
Ware. I
even
think
made it.
she could
Yeah.
be good, but
Mhm.
she
Oh,
is
I forgot
not
about her.
like ground shaking. Like
Yeah.
they got
Mhm.
that one player like that played really well for them. Like even in the playoffs, like she was knocking down shots.
Mhm.
And I again love the contract for Mariah Jefferson. I like the front court with Brianna Turner and BG, but it's not like prior seasons where they have like another big coming off the bench and stuff. Like their starting lineup is already sketched to me, and then when you go to the bench, it seems like one of a rebuilding team, and this rebuilding team does not have a first-round pick next year either, and didn't have one this year. So I don't know. I'm not liking the vision for the Mercury or the team after this. Like I don't see it coming together. So
I wonder if we're gonna have the same 11.
I think we have the same 11. I think we have the same 11 and 12.
Yes.
Well, go ahead with your 11.
Yeah, I feel like Chicago is number 11. Yep. I don't see the vision, especially in the backcourt. Like, they have great players that they've put in place, but how you gonna make it work? It's not like these. Like, when you look at them bringing in, now you already have Kyle, already, who needs the ball. You brought in Courtney Williams, who also needs the ball.
Yep.
And you brought in Mabry, who also needs the ball.
It's true.
And then you have like a little, weird front court rotation that's not really coming together for me. Then, like, where does Dana fit into that as well? Yeah. Do you start her? Do you still keep her on the bench? How much playing time will she get?
Yep.
They have so many question marks. And they didn't address, like, I'm not gonna say they didn't address any need, but what they were able to put together, and then not having a draft pick this year, like, well, in the first round, it's like, like, why would you do that? Like, it just didn't seem like it was the right move. Like, GM Wade is giving Ballhead Jr. vibes. I've been saying it.
Okay, I told you I'm not quite there yet. Because I feel like he still gives decent respect to his players. There's been some questionable things, but at least he's open, like Fisher wasn't. Like, whenever he makes decisions, like even trading the pick, he at least talked about why he didn't. I didn't agree with it, but he went over why he did it and what was his reasoning behind it. I did not get that communication. I know it is. I know. I get what meme you're doing. And I know Sky fans are going to agree with your meme, but I still am willing to see what this is. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
It's like that Spider-Man meme. James Wade and Derek Fisher.
Dang.
Coach GM vibes.
Yeah, so I have the Sky at 11 too. Mm-hmm. I love the Izzy signing. Loved it.
Yeah,
I think she is going to get the playing time that she deserves, and get her on your fantasy team. She is going to put up numbers.
Yeah, I see that.
I was fine with, like the court signing. Like, it was okay to me.
Yeah, I was fine with that until they made the trade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to get into that. Like, because court, like, if they were going to rebuild and stuff, like, it's fun having, like, a polarizing player like Court. She would bring people in and everything. Like, she's someone fun to have on the roster. Yeah. I love the storyline of, like, she was literally selling season tickets for the Sun a few days before she signed with the Sky. And she knew she was, like, too funny. It's Court.
It's hilarious.
You're going to get some funny trash. But then you don't commit to the rebuild, and you do the trade like I'm talking about. And not only do you trade your 2024, like your pick for this year, you do 2024 that's going to do deep. And then you don't even settle at that. You go all the way to 2025, and you're like, hey, we'll agree to swap our picks together. So when we're probably not doing well and you're going back up, we're going to swap spots. Like, and sorry, I know I'm going too far in the future, but I'm going to make, just create this scenario for you. Picture this. The Wings and the Sky did not make the playoffs in 2024. The 2025 draft, the Sky win the first pick, and the Wings get fourth, and they swap picks. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting that scenario out there.
Junior. Bald head junior vibes. That's all
I'm still not getting that because I want to see how he does this season. How I'm looking at the same player you brought up. I want to see how he does with Dana this season, how he utilizes her. If he can get this roster going, then it may give me another opinion. Another big factor, huge factor for future seasons. Ka only has 1 season left. So they could do all of this. They could have made that trade for Mabry, who is a decent player, but she got a better trade package than Alicia Gray got from the Dream. But you make that trade, commit to yourselves as like a team that's still competing right now, and then Ka walks the next season, that ain't going to be great.
All for naught.
Exactly. That ain't going to be great. So, yeah.
My God. It could be an ugly scene.
It really could. Number 12, who you got?
Only one team left. My favorite team to hate.
So what puts them below everyone else? And how far below are they below everyone else? Like, are they going to be like Indiana Fever Bad from the last 2 seasons where they win like 8 games and the other teams go to double digits? Or is it a Mod Podge at last? Like, how are you feeling about the Lynx compared to the rest of the bottom?
I'm going to say there's a clear bottom 2. There is a clear bottom 2. I feel like they could possibly be interchangeable, but the only reason I have Chicago above them because even though they have, it's just Minnesota has so much wrong with it. Like the roster construction, the payouts, it's just so much wrong.
There is.
Because, like, I feel like with Chicago, if they make a couple of trades and move some pieces around and maybe, just, they could be okay. They'll at least be fun to watch.
I can see that vision. Yeah.
They can be fun to watch. But Minnesota is not going to be fun to watch. It's just, like, the fact that they weren't able to pull in any type of free agent, really. Like they brought
Tiffany
in
Mitchell.
Tiffany Mitchell, but she doesn't move the needle.
Yeah,
you get Nafisa Collier back, which she's a all-star.
That moves the needle, but
she doesn't have anything like Kayla McBride. Okay, I like Kayla McBride.
Yep.
Does she move the needle enough? Can she be a secondary scorer? She can, but is she gonna move the needle enough? Aerial Powers, same thing. Yeah. She can be a secondary scorer, but what else? She's gonna score a lot of points, but is it gonna help win games? It's not gonna win games. You might not have a Chonwood at all next season. Like, I think she just had her baby. She might come back, but even when
it's
she does
still not
back,
a needle. Yeah, I get
it's not a needle mover. So, I mean, Diamond Miller, that was a great pickup for them. I'm happy.
Love Diamond. That was the right pick. She's going to get, she should get all the playing time she does, but I don't know. How much do you trust Cheryl to play her as much as she needs to? Do you trust her with rookies, like getting that playing time?
Yeah, actually, I do.
Okay.
I do trust her with rookies because once upon a time, there was a Simone Augustus. Once upon a time, there was a Maya Moore.
Okay.
And they were lifers just about for Minnesota, and they started off playing a lot of time as rookies.
Okay,
and
good.
They were given the opportunity.
Diamond is going to be good. We talked about her a lot.
Yes, she is. That is really
one
good.
Bright spot. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm picking on Sky fans too much. I think this team is going to be more fun to watch than the Chicago Sky. They're still going to finish worse, but I think they will be more fun to watch because they can see future pieces. Sky are going to be worried all season, like which of these players are going to move on after this doesn't go great. Yeah. Minnesota, it's going to be like, we're happy that these players are going to be gone after this season, and we get to see some of our future right now and everything too. Like,
I see that. That's a great point because you're right. They're going to have at least something to look forward to, unlike the Sky.
And I actually like what they did with like their late second round picks the most, like with man, I don't remember where if Dorka was early second round or later, but I like the Dorka Juhas pick, honestly, because they didn't have a lot of front court players. Like I saw her like potentially late first round. That's probably a stretch. Early second round. I like that one. Brea Beal fell to them. Like, say what you want about her offense. I had doubts about her too. She went further back than I thought. Like, because I just had her late first round. Like, I thought the latest she would go was like 10 through 12. Like, when I was bringing up like my analysis, I did not think she would fall as far as she did. And
that was ridiculous to me. But
yeah. And the problem though with both the Lynx in the Sky too, to me, and why they're on the bottom. I hate that these two teams scream rebuilding, and yet they don't have the cap space to have a 12-player roster. Neither of them. And especially the Lynx, I was expecting a trade to happen with one of the players that didn't move the needle. I felt like they would be able to make one trade. Like, they had a good amount of draft picks. I thought they could have like traded their 12th pick to get something, and they're still just in the same position. They can still make a trade. They got time. The draft wasn't the only time.
Yeah, they have plenty of time to do this, but yeah.
But will they do it? Like, it would be terrible to me if like they're not able to bring someone on like that they drafted because they don't have that 12th spot. Like, it's just that's really frustrating to me. So I hope they're able to make a trade. And same with the Sky. We'll go over. I'm not going to go too far into who can be dropped and everything because we're going to be doing like a training camp thing like towards the end of the month.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one thing that just is a sore spot for me on both teams. But yeah, I still think Minnesota did a decent job with their draft. Going back to Chicago really quick, I do like the Kayana trailer, like playing, like learning behind Dana. I think she has a shot to make the roster. I still have to think about if she does because, again, they're an 11-team roster. How does that work? But yeah, I like the Lynx draft overall better, like because obviously they got Diamond Miller. They bought into their future more. And Cheryl said she's not going to be a lottery team, but it sounded like she was okay with being a rebuilding team, even though she's gonna try to be. She's gonna try to win that first overall pick, but it's
yeah, because Reeve is just, she's always thinking 10 steps ahead. Like, she's gonna say one thing and she's gonna do another. She never shows her hand, so she can be talking all that mess about not being a lottery team, and then she's definitely shooting for that number one.
Yes.
So, but number one works out very well for her. Let's just
and one thing that put them behind the Sky for me, because I've given like more confidence points to the Lynx and stuff. The Sky actually have a backcourt, like a firm backcourt, like point guard specifically. They like Dana is going to be good, then whoever. Like, they try to finagle in there, like Courtney Williams. I don't know if they're going to try to have her play point. There's at least something there. Like, the Lynx, they're going to play Tiffany Mitchell? What are they going to do? I don't see any clear things. The Sky and Lynx, I have huge questions on their front court, but at least the Sky, like, I have confidence the rest of the way on their roster. The Lynx, I do not have that. So I feel like they're going to be bad, but I feel like fans will find solace that they did not trade their draft picks away. They still can have a future ahead. Maybe they can make another trade and acquire another pick. If we were doing future rankings, the Sky are in 14th because expansion teams are going above them. So whenever that comes, like
he said 14th. Goodness gracious. Honestly,
I don't like what they did at all. And the Sky fans don't like it either. I have not found a Sky fan that was like, I am so glad that we traded 3 first-round picks for Mabry. I'm so happy we did that.
Literally,
no one said that.
Coming off of losing 2 of your major
after Z left, like after they lost Azare and CP3, it's done. It's time to move on. It's trying to rebuild, like, you can still potentially be a playoff team, but it's time to punt on the future. And they didn't do that. And they're going to pay.
He didn't learn anything from his tether because his tether did the same thing. CP left. Chelsea Gray left. and he decided, no, we're going to salvage this. We can do it. No, you can't. Don't your draft picks.
So we'll see, though. I'll see if I agree with you by the end of the season. I do see potential. I do see Baldhead Senior potential, but
Baldhead Junior, remember, respect your elders. Baldhead Senior is the other one. I won't speak his name. But
wait,
yeah.
I know. I was talking about hold on. There's too many. Okay, is Wade Baldhead Junior?
He's junior.
Okay, I need a breakdown of this. Okay,
all right, so we have a breakdown. I'm gonna give you a quick little breakdown. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
So originally it was just Baldhead, and that was Derek Fisher.
Okay.
But because his successor was also bald and had Baldhead vibes, I had to make Derek the junior.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Because the intern coach came in. Okay, exactly. I got it. Now I get it. Okay.
You understand me now. And
yeah, I just wasn't remembering the intern coach because their season was so forgettable. And I'll be honest, I did not watch a lot of Spark games except when they played the Dream towards the end.
Didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I figured I did.
Miss anything? No. You missed. That's all you missed. It's all, but it's fine. It's fine. We've moved on. We've moved on.
No, and I think you all are going to be great, but yeah. And really quick, I'm going to put you on the spot before we leave.
Oh, God. Okay.
Because you know how we've been playing, on playbacks, we've been doing classic Dream games or games from last season. I got a suggestion for you. I'm fine with either one. But would you like to watch best college games from all three of our prospects? Do that next. Or would you like to continue with our Dream series? And I'll make a poll too. But do you have any gut reactions? Would you rather continue the series we're doing or do a little dive into what we're going to be acquiring?
You know what? I would actually love to see some great games from our rookies. I would love to do that.
Okay.
I would love to do that. We can still mix it up with our other series because I feel like we should continue that. But definitely we should.
I just thought of it because you said you didn't get to see Leia that much and just the college season as much as you want because unfortunately we're working. We have jobs in our 30s and you don't get to watch basketball as much as we like. So but cool. So maybe we'll integrate that in there. I'll post a poll as well, but I think we'll probably do it. Because we still, unfortunately, have over a month until the season starts.
Yep. So, but it's not going to be as long as we think.
I hope so, Amber, because
we're going to be jam-packed. We're going to be jam-packed with content to keep us busy. Okay.
I hope
Don't even worry about it.
I love your energy. Okay.
Hey, right here for you.
Okay. Awesome. All right, well. That was fun. We went over why the Dream are clear contenders for home court advantage.
Clearly.
And we went through all 12 teams. And I thought I liked our breakdowns. I thought it was fun. So let us know what you disagree on, because I'm sure you're going to disagree with who we have missing the playoffs or some teams we had in the playoffs. But I'll post the power rankings on here, what Amber put and I did next to this graphic in case you didn't get to watch the whole episode. And we will be back for whatever we're going to do next. I don't know what's going to be next, but we're going to have something. It's going to be something fun, as always. But thank you so much for tuning into the Atlanta Dreaming Pod. Like Amber said, join us on Playback because we have a great time. We had fun covering the draft.
We have way too much fun.
It's true.
We do.
But on that note, we will bid adieu. And we will post when we are doing a next game. Probably this weekend is probably when we'll do our next games and everything. We'll post when we know what that is.
Yep.
All right,
guys.
Talk to you all later. Bye.
See you later.